Today my journey brought me to Sunshine Meadows Industrial Farm, which is what I can only assume by the machinery and other objects, some sort of food processing plant. I started off by clearing away the feral ghouls here. Please forgive me for my terrible aim, as it's been a since I've last played. As you can tell, there's a good amount of them here, and I've noticed from my time with the game that workshops tend to be crowded with a lot of NPCs when not under control by anybody. After finally taking care of the last two ghouls, I'm able to start claiming the workshop for myself. It costs 25 caps, but I'm thinking the loot and experience for claiming it will make up for the lost funds, and right away I'm awarded with a level up. Almost immediately after claiming the workshop, 3 waves of feral ghouls started trying to take it away from me, so I quickly pace my defenses and get ready. Me and my turrets take out the first wave, and I use the time in between the next wave to choose my special stat and my perk card. As you can see, it took me a bit to finally decide what I want to take, as at lower levels, the perk cards don't have a crazy amount of benefits. I decided to put the point into Charisma and rank up Lone Wanderer card for damage prevention and AP regen. Pretty useful perk card if you plan on being solo, and doesn't take long to max out since you can choose it at every level after 5, I believe. After Lone Wanderer is maxed out though, I don't think I'll be putting anything else in Charisma, as it's mostly a co-op stat, but time will only tell. After finally deciding on my level up, I started clearing out the second wave coming my way. My aim isn't getting any better. I'm starting to feel a little ashamed, so I skip to the end of the third wave as to spare myself the embarrassment. I end up getting a decent amount of stuff for an easy event. Purified water, a stim pack as well as a diluted version, a plan, some concrete, and 300 experience. I'll take it. I also notice a level 35 walking around the area, and I contemplate whether or not I should shoot him. But before I can decide, he turns to look at me, and I offer him a friendly greeting instead. Luckily, he decides not to bother me, and I get a chance to look around my workshop more. I notice some sort of food producer that requires power to start running, and I see a power plant substation a small walk away, and go to clear it out in hopes of powering my little factory. After clearing out the small amount of guys, I look all over for something that allows me to turn on power, or something to allow me to get my factory going. I can't find anything, and then look at the map, and I see there's an actual power plant relatively nearby that has an event to power it up. I assume this is what allows me to power up my factory and decide to join the event. Before heading to the power plant, I decided to rest up to get a well-rested experience buff of 5%, since I knew there was bound to be a lot of enemies in the area. I also decided to try out a different weapon, since my rifle skills were pretty lackluster today. I promise normally my shots are a lot better, but I just wasn't able to get into groove today. Anyways, after clearing out the area and picking up loot, I headed toward the spot on the map where it said I would be able to make repairs to the cooling system. There is quite a few scorched in the area for me to kill, and bursts of pipes that I can fix. I decided to clear out the mobs before fixing more of the cooling system, and I figured the best way to do that was to switch to a gun that didn't take 40 seconds between each shot, the 10mm pistol, which proved pretty effective. After lockpicking my way into the safe and getting the loot inside, I started fixing the broken pipes in the area. I fixed all the pipes in the area and noticed I still wasn't done completing the quest, but there was another circle on the map showing that there was more to be fixed in the other thermostat. So I made my way over and started doing what I know best, killing and fixing things. After fixing the last piece and making full repairs to the cooling systems, I decided I was tired of walking around encumbered and made the slow trek back to my camp nearby in order to break stuff down. Finally. While here, I decided to cook up some food and water before heading out to finish my repairs on the power station. Once back, I find an entrance inside and get ready to kill more Scorch and fix more pipes. Finishing off the Scorch in the area, I started working on repairing the pipes and consoles in the area. After finishing the last few, it's time to start making my way to the reactor, but not before killing a few Scorch that stood in my way. A terminal in the central office seems to suggest there was a lot of protest about the plant being put up in the area, and government officials were around a lot more once it started using the material ultracite. Interesting. There's also a decontamination unit that you can activate that allows you to wash away your rats. Once we get into the reactor, there's more Scorch and more fixing, but we're almost done and hopefully it'll be worth it in the end. There's a lot of rads generated in this area. It makes sense, it's a reactor, but nothing Rad-X won't help with. After fixing the last part, the last thing to do was actually start up the power plant. And I'm not gonna lie, it took me a minute to figure out where to go. But once I found the terminal, I was able to start it up with just one push of a button. Okay, maybe not that. After killing the last Scorched, I was able to access the terminal and start up the power plant. This completed the event and gave me caps, a stim pack, ammo, junk, and enough experience to get me to level 9. It's time to go back to my workshop and see if it's all powered up now. After getting back to the workshop, I noticed that I'm still not getting power for some reason. So I think maybe it's the substation that just needs to be activated after activating the power plant. So I head on over, clear out the Scorch, and then look around to see if there's a way to activate anything. After a bit of searching, I find a box, but it looks as though it's already activated, so I got worried that maybe something was bugged, but decided to head back to the workshop for one last try. After I get there, I see a little power conduit and I get an idea. I decided to hook up the machines in build mode just to see if it'll do anything, and the minute I did, it powers up the machine and allows the production of whatever meal I choose. So after all this time, I ran around for seemingly no reason, because the power was available to me the whole time. I just never attached the power box to anything. I couldn't really be upset then, because it was my own stupidity at that point, but I did get some items and a couple levels from the journey, so I won't complain. I decided on having it produce Salisbury steak, because my character is going to need a nice hearty meal to make his way in the rest of the wasteland. Happy I finally figured it out, I remembered I had a couple level ups and go straight into looking at what was available to me next. I decided for my first level up to go with the point in strength to increase my carry limit and be able to equip any random perk cards I get for strength. But I choose the final level for my perk card, Lone Wanderer. Then for my second level up, it only made sense to get enough charisma so I can actually use my Lone Wanderer card. After much deliberation, I decided to go with the Action Boy perk card in order for my AP regen to be a little bit better. After all that, I ended up with level 2 in Pack Rat in order to have my carry weight a little bit better with Junk, level 1 Picklock, level 1 Iron Stomach, level 4 in Lone Wanderer, level 3 in First Aid, level 1 in Hacker, and level 1 in Action Boy. I'll need to find something to stick in luck soon, but I have a few ideas. For now though, that was my progression adventure for this video. In recap, we took over a workshop that was a food processing plant, defended it from a ghoul attack, fixed up a nuclear power plant in order to power our workshop, realized we never needed to do that in the first place, and gained 3 levels total. Overall, a pretty successful adventure. Thanks for joining me on it, and if you guys are interested in more videos like this, it was a lot of fun, so give me some feedback and I'd be happy to make more. Ciao.